This one's gonna blow your mind. You are an animal right now. And that doesn't sound surprising. I know you are human. I am too. We are animals. But I'm not talking about animals in the physiological sense. I'm talking about animals in the psychological sense. You see, in my country, we use certain terms to describe people with lower natures being predominant. For example, we usually call the drug addicts cats, gatos. We call them that. Why? Because they're pretty much like that. It's the psychology they live for. And in English, they also say rats for a fucking snitch or a bad. Yeah, you get the point, right? And what does this say about anything? It means that you should think about what animal are you being right now. In this physical form, you could say you have the shape of a well-developed monkey, right? And in the thought form, you may be embracing the thought form of an ant. Last week I was with a friend at a park, and we just saw like this massive amount of ants coming from a tree, and I would look all the way up to the tree, and I would see like little particles those were the ants, and they were moving in a freaking line that went all the way to like the horizon of my eyesight. We both concluded that, well, it ain't much different than us. They have their own colonies, they can have slaves, they have monarchies and anarchies and whatnot. And I think a big percentage of humanity is stuck in this psychology of the ant. What do ants do? They do not think about anything else than building something. They're working for something, working towards a goal, and they don't know anything else but that. Does that remind you to a collective, to a herd? Is it called earth? Herb? I don't know. I'm talking about the collective level, right? But also on the individual level. See, when I was going through this phase of heavy drug addiction and just a lot of scarcity mindset, lower hostile in the physical, I was living by this ecology of a cat. What do cats do? They roam around. If they see a little food, they take it and they leave. They get into fights. They're hostile. They're always thinking they're in danger because they don't know they can cross the street and they can die. They can get ran over by a car or get attacked by a bigger animal. They're always living in fear in some way. I'm talking about the street cats, not the owner cats. Okay. In order to expand this idea, we must understand that we are almost entirely symbolical creatures. We exchange information with the environment through the symbols. An example that comes to mind with this is basically almost all religions, particularly Hinduism. They have animals and representations by every aspect of the human psyche. Because in a way, all nature is comprised into our bodies and into our psychology. I think I talked about that in the other video about the outside world being too hostile. We are a lower scale projection of a higher scale everything. And so the question I'd like to ask you today is, what animal are you embracing today? After I went through that dark night of the soul in the Bronx, and many others, like, just those kind of nights where you don't know if you're gonna make it. Those kind of nights where you're just kind of abandoning the idea of waking up the next day, if you know what I'm talking about. That's a confirmation. And my cat is on heat, and she's going crazy, man. Like, it's a good analogy to what I'm talking about, It's funny. It's funny because, I mean, she already has a little kid. She had 3. It's a whole story. I mean, you see, last year I was going through this period I was talking about, and I found her on the streets. I was studying at night, and I was walking down to my house. The school was pretty far since I moved here. I was living in a neighborhood way up there, like, it doesn't matter. Let's say it was just way up there, and I'm living way down here. A little more like in the center of the city, and it was more like in the outskirts of the city. So I was walking down from school one night, and I was super high with a guy. I wouldn't call him my friend because he wasn't. And we just saw her like like crying out in the streets. And you know what? I had a dream about it. I had a dream. I don't know if it was after or before the event, but I had a dream where I was like in school, and as usual, I was feeling pretty much an outcast in that space, because you see, it was a lower class neighborhood, and very much like conditioned by the cultural, if you can call whatever they do culture, statements that are very prominent there. And I was not following that kind of stuff. I was pretty much more like into the outcast part of that neighborhood, where people just go into a dark place and get high and talk about how much they hate their lives. Yeah. So I had a dream where I was like into the school and feeling like an outcast, and I was in the backyard of the school, and I found her like crying out loud, and I picked her up, and everyone around me in school was trying to get her, and I was really protecting her. And I went all the way to another house, which ended up being this house, and now she's living with me. Ever since I brought her here, she always had like that wanting to get out. Like, she has not in any way get used to like just being in a house. She always wants to go outside. She has this lifelong wish for adventure. And when he was one time, more or less like the start of the year, she was in heat. She went missing 3 days and came back pregnant. Then she had the 3 kids and just calmed down for a while, like caressing and nurturing the kids. I gave 2 of the kids to 2 aunts of mine, and she started caring about this one. Her name is Tora, tiger in Japanese. But now she's back into heat, and now she wants to get out. But you see, in this window right here, there is nothing. There is like this cube that goes all the way up to the other floors, but there's nothing. There's just a floor here, and just like a square. So it makes me think like she wants to go outside, but when she goes outside, there is a much smaller world. I mean, the house is much bigger in comparison to the square. Why does she want to go out to the square? Why? Because the window to the outside world is completely blocked. I covered it with mail, chain mail. It's not chain, but you kind of get it, right? Uh, Maybe it was a little deviation from the topic, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Like the symbolical uh, context of this situation I just spoke, it can talk about a lot about. I don't know. Maybe you kind of feel identified with this. I feel identified with it sometimes. It can tell you something, and religions they do that all the time. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. They tell stories with characters that symbolize certain aspects of ourselves, and that helps us reflect upon our own nature. So I'm gonna repeat my question. What animal are you embracing today? Are you being an animal that's a prey? Or are you being an animal that's a hunter? Are you the one who goes and get it? Or are you the one who sits there waiting to get eaten by something else? I'm telling you, man. One day I decided I was a tiger in my past life. And I'm not abandoning that idea. I'm a fucking tiger. That's it. So find that animal that you say, that's me, I feel like that guy. Type shit. You're just like me for real. On some Ryan Gosling type shit, but don't identify with another human being because it's as impermanent and egotistical as you are. Identify with an animal. He just is. I mean, Torah is right there, just sitting, staring at me like, what is this guy doing? What could he be talking about? Well, I'm here chilling. He's ranting about some animal psychology and whatnot. You see, animals are smarter than you. They just don't say it. You know? Alright, I think that's it for today. Uh, I'm preparing another video, but I'm gonna publish it in Spanish. So, you know what? I've been thinking about this lately. Like, I want to do videos in English and Spanish, but I think that it will divide my public in a pretty prominent way because not everyone speaks both language and understands both language. So, oh, maybe I should like get another channel, right? One channel where I publish in Spanish and the other one in English. I'll think about it. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. I'm very glad to again share this little thoughts that I have throughout the day with someone, even if it's just a couple people watching. If you watch till the end of the video, I really appreciate it, man. Like, leave a comment, say whatever. Really, if you just leave a comment insulting me, I would be glad just to have an interaction. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later. Hey, say hi to the camera. See you around, guys. Blessings.